Okay, while we get started today, gonna be a full day today. Um, so we're gonna start with the learning activity. We're gonna break you into pairs and have you work on this learning activity. Starting to assign people as pairs now as they come in class. Um, and online students, I'm assigning you as pairs too here. Um, Not sure if everyone will get a partner, but we'll try. Um, so so we'll do the learning activity. I'm hoping to spend then 15, 20 minutes talking about the assignment and walking you through the first part of that because it's kind of complicated. So I thought, and I have a video recorded also there. So if you don't get to that, you can just watch the video there. But I thought it might be useful just to walk through at least get you set up for that there. At least the first part. The second part is answering some questions, and that's pretty straightforward. And then we have guest speakers here from Grand Rapids. They're hopefully joining us on Zoom at 11. So we've got an hour before the guest speakers show up here. So we'll see how that goes. And again, today we're doing two guest speakers because they both work at the same organization there, and they're both alumni. And so we thought we've done this before where we talked to them both at the same time because it's kind of interesting to hear their different roles and where they've been. So go into Unit 5, go look down to the learning activity here. And again, I am assigning you partners and I'm trying to bridge parts of the room here. So like Sumner, I have you working with David on the other side of the room. Hunter, I have you working over here with Grace here. So let's see. Johnny, we will have you work with and again, we've got Michael and Omar are both in Zoom. So we've got you working together there. You can let me know if you want me to set up rooms on Zoom or not. Breakout rooms, I can easily set up breakout rooms if you want one set up there. So uh, for this stuff here. So what I want you to then do is, I think we did this once before. You'll go here. There will be this assignment link, and it'll bring you to GitHub. And inside GitHub, you'll create a team. One person creates a team, the other one will join the team there. And again, it doesn't hurt if you want to get together and work on side by side. But again, if you want to work across the room from each other, you can certainly do that depending on how you want this to go, how you want it to work there. So you can decide how you want the work environment to work here. So who's Innocent? Is that you in back? Okay, so we'll assign you with Johnny here. Uh Johnny and so Johnny's here. And I think that is there anyone else I'm not seeing in the room? I think I have, but Vince, we'll see. Why don't you start your own group and we'll try to assign someone to your group when they show up. Looks like you're gonna get a Jeffrey here, so not really reaching across the room or whatever, but Okay. Okay, so yeah, open this up, go to this. You want to download this code here. This is the same kind of model view controller code we looked at last week, although it has a little more complicated. It has some interfaces and stuff with it. Again, if you go there, it should ask you to form a team or it lists teams. You want to create it. One of you creates a team, the other one joins the team. You both want to download the code and look at it. Although in the class, if you just want to have one person modifying the code in class, that's fine here. Once you get here, once you get the code, you want to just clone it. So either in Visual Studio or VS Code. Oops, I want to clone your repository down, and then answer the questions. I did something wrong there. I think I had the URL. That's usually, when I usually get that error, it usually means I didn't get the URL correctly. Let me go here and grab this URL. Okay, that looks better. And then answer the question, start working through the questions here. I suggest one of you on your team make a copy of this document here and then share it with the other person, and you can then submit, answer the questions right here and submit this stuff. So. Okay, Mike wants, let me create some breakout rooms. Let's see. I can remember how to do breakout rooms. Breakout rooms. Okay, I think there are breakout rooms now. So I think you can join a breakout room. If you go down to the menu and choose breakout rooms, I think you can do it. So Mike, there's 3 breakout rooms. Mike and Omar, I think, are together. Why don't you go into breakout room 1? So again, some of you late people, if you haven't, we want you to go do learning activity 2. We're assigning you to groups here. You may end up working with a online student depending on who shows up and that sort of stuff. For now, then click on that link here. Here's your worksheet. You're going to make a copy of the worksheet. You want to go into GitHub, click this link. You can make teams of 2 in GitHub. So again, if you're the first one in your team there, make a team there and get the code for that. If your teammates already made a team, join that team so you can do that. I'll break up the code. It's up to you how you want to break up this stuff. It's okay to just have if there's 2 of you, just do every other assignment. Part 4 is where it's complicated. So I would almost suggest that one person could do 1, 2, 3, and another person could do 4 and 5 there. 4 and 5 kind of have to be done together, and how is all the code modifications. 1, 2, 3 is questions about the code. So again, make a copy of this, share it with your teammate if you haven't got that here, and see how far you go. And we'll see how far we get. Again, we want to basically see how far we get in class. If we don't get through this all, I'll show, we'll look kind of at a solution to this towards the end. So, but if you don't have a partner now, you can at least get the GitHub, start the assignment, get the GitHub repository started, and work with that. Oh, and if you're on Zoom right now, you should be in one of the breakout rooms. So. Okay, I want to just interrupt for just a sec here, and talk about the second part. So I pulled the people from the breakout rooms back in here, and I'm going to talk about step 4, which is a real common thing we have to do in coding, and that is extract an interface. So there's a little picture of this. Let me see if I can open up this picture. Here. See if I can get it bigger here. Okay, so what we have is you've been looking at, like, in number 2 or 3, you talk about the student controller accessing the student repository through this iStudent CRUD interface here. And that's already set up. Now, what we're going to do down here is the student repository accesses the student model directly here. So if we look at the code for the student model, the student repository, it has a list of student models here. It uses, like, this returns the student ID and stuff. There's lots of student model stuff in here. So the student repository works directly with the student model. We don't want to do that because we're going to implement the null student pattern. Hopefully, we might not get that far today, but we're going to at least get this interface in here. So we're going to stick in this interface. We're going to we're going to extract all the needed stuff out of the student model into an interface here. And again, this is maybe one of the first times you've done this. It's a real common coding thing, is to stick an interface between 2 objects here. In fact, it's so common that there's a shortcut for it. If I go into student model, and if I click on student model and say quick actions, the second one is extract interface. And that'll basically do everything you want to do for step 4. But I think the first time it's really helpful to do it a couple times by yourself, so you can see what all is being done here. So that's what you're doing. You're gonna make a new interface called the iStudent interface here. So again, we'd go into our data model area, we'd create a new object here, add a new item. Oops. Yeah, I'm just going to add a new class. Add new class. Switch it to interface. Give it the name iStudent interface and add it to this. And then you're going to look through the student repository and see what's in there. When do we access the student stuff? So we just use it in a list. We're looking for what method. So in the student model, we have an ID getter, setter, a name getter, setter, credits getter, setter, and then some constructors. What of those do we want to extract in our model? And so if we look through this, we see a constructors. In general, you don't put constructors, or you can't put constructors in an interface. So this where we're calling it constructors not. Here, we're just declaring a student model. Here we're declaring, we're going through all the students and we're getting each student ID. So we certainly want to be able to get the student ID as a property here. And again, you can look through this, but in general, you're probably going to want to extract these public methods into your interface here. Where's my interface? Then now, so we've created an interface. Now we have to, what I call, rewire things. We have to change the student repository so it uses this student interface here. We may also have to change some of the iStudent CRUD stuff so it references the interface rather than anywhere there's anything references a student model, generally, except in a constructor, we want to reference the interface. So now I have this interface, iStudent interface. If I go to my repository, I'm going to try to change a lot of these things. So rather than a list of students, I want a list of student interfaces here. And then same here, rather, there's the list of student. I want a list of student interfaces. Same here, student interfaces. Same here, student interfaces for this. So I want to try anywhere I see a student model, I'm going to replace that with the student interfaces, except when I call a constructor here. And then in your, you also in your student model, you want to make sure you're implementing that interface. So you'd say it implements the iStudent interface here. And it probably already has those. Let's see, and that should get rid of a bunch of errors here. There's this iCRUD interface. You want to go into there. And again, there's a couple places where it's referencing the student model. We're always going to want to reference the iStudent interface here. So in this interface, I want to say student model, student model, student model. So again, anywhere there's student model, we're going to reference that through the interface here. So basically, we're sticking this interface between the student model and the rest of the code. So anywhere the rest of the code accesses the student model, they do it through the iStudent interface. So there are detailed instructions here on all the changes you have to make, but see in the next 15 minutes how far you can get with that. Okay, I'll let you start on that.